Fear. Disappointment. Dilemmas. Snitching on Charles Manson. Painting things black. Shows of shit. Vomiting flies. Non-existent horn sections. Death Grip's new album finally gets a physical release in England, Hampshire. Year of the Snitch. Death Grips formed in Sacramento in 2010, and they've been one of those really prolific bands. It seems like they release an album followed by an EP, sort of in quick succession. So I think they've been together, 8 years now. Year of the Snitch will be their 6th album, but I think it's something like their, 15th release or something like that. They're a pretty prolific band. And they've also disbanded during that time as well. They seem to be one of these bands who completely do things on their own terms. They had quite a buzz building around them, and they don't seem to give a fudge. They really don't seem to give a fuck. Now, they have a blend of experimental hippity hop, industrial, electronic, glitch pop. Oh, no, it's just glitch pop. And also noise. They've pretty much built up a solid reputation as one of those bands who are unafraid to experiment and do pretty phenomenal physical challenging live shows. There was one story back in 2012 when they signed to Epic Records at the time, where they actually leaked their album for free to fans, and of course found them in breach of contract and found themselves without a label, I'm imagining, for a little while. And I think they disbanded in 2014. Not sure what the reasons were, but they got back together again in 2015, and they've been going ever since. They're one of those bands that seem to be getting quite a following as well. I think Bjork is a huge fan. In fact, they actually did some remixes or something of theirs. People like them. Is that not enough? Do I have to explain everything for fucking you? I've not actually listened to a huge amount of their music. They're one of those bands that I've been meaning to check out for a while. I did go back and check out some of their older stuff in preparation for this, and I liked what I hear. There's certainly a lot of experimental stuff, that's for damn sure. The band themselves is MC Ride on vocals, a very physical vocalist. Zach Hill, who is the drummer and producer, and the drums are live, by the way. I think that he's a proper drummer. He's a damn good drummer as well. I think they then process the drums to sound electronic afterwards. And also we've got Andy Morin, recording engineer, who I think he performs with the band live as well, does samples and synth and all that sort of stuff. Pretty talented goddamn band. Very quickly before I get stuck into the songs. Featured on this album, you've got Australian noise artist Lucas Abela, New Zealand film director Andrew Adamson, and Justin Chancellor, who's the bass player in Tool, of course. So that just shows you exactly who I've just said. First song, Death Grips, is online. This one starts out with drummer Zach Hill laying down a fat beat. God, I'm old. And right away I'm reminded of early 90s dance music and early Prodigy especially. There's definitely a lot of similarities between this and Jilted Generation, Prodigy Experience albums. Dance music, electronic music is not my forte, shall we say, as well. So explanations and descriptions of the songs will be baffling. MC Ride starts out by saying, "I'm doing handstands on her Trans Am." Just because you're an artist does not give you the right to disrespect people's property. The title itself refers to a tweet that the band put out. I can't remember if it was the beginning of this year or sometime last year, but basically their Twitter account got taken down. So they posted Death Grips is online on another Twitter account, and it went viral apparently. It became a meme. People retweeted this all over the goddamn place. Pretty nine, spinning blind, fitting into crime. It's the fucking grind. Death Grips is online, drinking from his spine, leaving till I'm fine. Pretty nine. No fucking clue, mate. Next up we have Flies. This is quite a dark song in terms of the lyric matter. Basically brings up visions of being eaten alive or preyed upon, fed upon by flies. Should the opportunity arise, vomit me flies. Flies, vomit me. Together's unwise. Sever all ties. Should the opportunity arise. Vomit me flies. Flies vomit me. Vomit green eyes. The instrumentation itself has a kind of buzzy feel to it as well. It's kind of, kind of gets under your skin, that fits the lyrical subject matter quite well. Really interesting track that I enjoyed a lot. Next up we had Black Paint. I heard somewhere there's a reference to Paint It Black by the Rolling Stones, but I've not been able to verify or corroborate or do whatever. I read it in one bit, so I thought I'd put it in here. This is a heavy song with a real nice driving bass line, and got a more traditional song structure, I guess. Black Paint. Those are my satanic urges right now. Right now. Linda's in Custody's up next. Fucking glad I didn't go out in this. Never rains, but it pours. This one starts off in a almost lulling kind of lullaby kind of a way, before going into more jarring, sinister electronic instrumentation. Good one, Ben, good one. One of the theories of this song is that it's actually a reference to Linda Kasabian, who served as a witness for the prosecution during the Charles Manson trials. And a lot of people seem to think that that's what the title Year of the Snitch is referencing. I don't know that. Day breaking, lift hissing, sanity fucking, bitch skinning. How do you say? Come to me. Hanging out with Linda. I heard she's in fucking custody. Not a bad song, but I didn't really feel it kind of went anywhere. It didn't go where I wanted it to. Next up we have the horn section. This is pretty much a 90-second instrumental piece that does not contain horns, though it does contain some pretty impressive drum work from Zach Hill. Has to be said, he knows what he's doing behind the kit. Let me tell you that. Next up is apparently this song samples 3 previous Death Grips tracks. The Destroyer, Lock Your Doors, and Up My Sleeves. I've not heard any of them. I probably should have, really. And apparently Feel Me during the chorus is a sample from Black Dice. I've just realised as I'm reading out what I've wrote that I've got no idea what any of this fucking means. But I really did enjoy the chorus on this one. I had a great inclusion of guitars in it as well that I really thought worked well. Another good song. A very good song. Ha ha ha, bitch. Next up we have Shit Show. And this is one of the heavier songs on the album. It's got blast beats aplenty. Goes pretty full bore, and MC Ride's vocals as well are pretty frenetic and really full on. Very high energy, heavy song. The music video for it as well was apparently taken off YouTube. I don't know if I can see why or not. It's not a pleasant video. I'll leave a link in the description, but they re-uploaded it to Vimeo. Apparently they're nicer in Vimeo, I don't know. But YouTube is definitely the best, and I applaud YouTube. Thank you. Heads for this lap. Put my hands up. Weightless glisten, press the cactus. It's a shit show. Shit show. Next up we have Streaky. Really enjoyed this one. The lyrical flow, I felt, worked particularly well. It had a boppy kind of vibe. Streaky on the outside. Stand by dealer, hold a franchise. Southside do me, 'cause it sound tight. Streaky on the outside. Oh my, yeah. Oh my, yeah. Next up we have Dilemma. And this starts out with Australian filmmaker Andrew Adamson, who does a spoken word piece. February 20th, Los Angeles, California. I'm in the studio with Death Grips. They're working on their new album at Sunset Sound Studios, 6650 Sunset Boulevard. They have a dilemma, but they'll win their dilemma. Yeah, there's a good use of synth on this that almost has a kind of 70s prog vibe, I found, which actually I found quite pleasant. I actually kind of enjoyed. One thing I did find with this album that's both very admirable and also kind of the flaw of the album, I thought, was no 2 songs really sound anything like each other. All of them have their own distinct personality and individuality, which is great. But I kind of wonder whether it, whether it works as a cohesive album. There's definitely some great stuff on here, but it's it feels a bit disjointed at times. But good stuff though. Why'd you say it then? Next up we have Little Richard. Starts out with what sounds to me like somebody scratching on a turntable through a distortion pedal, possibly. You seemed quite convinced before going into a more 90s dance sound. You haven't got a clue. You haven't got a clue. The vocals sound like a robot, and I do know that, alright? So fuck off. Now, the title of this song is either a reference to the legendary Little Richard or about a small dick. Little Richard took a picture. He got triggered by a clicker. He got meaner. He got bigger. I haven't got a fucking clue. Next up we have The Fear. We're going to some sort of dark jazz territory here. Song about paranoia, perhaps? I'm not quite sure. Had an interesting turn on the chorus, which I could have done a bit more throughout the album. Interesting song that I enjoyed a lot. I feel so sick today. I'm afraid to be here with you. You want to kill somebody? I'm afraid to be here with you. Penultimate song is Outro, which is an instrumental piece and is not the last song on the album. And the final song on the album is Disappointed. This one starts out with some really disjointed sounding electronic instrumentation, and another one with real fast drumming and real aggressive vocal delivery. Nut job, no job, fuck jobs, not hired, lowlands, road rash, warpath, crossfire, non-threats, hot mess, known threats, stalk less, talk less, show less, snatch your trapdoors. Pretty cool song and a decent enough close to an album. In terms of a score, I'd probably give it a 7 out of 10. There was a lot of stuff that I liked on it, but like I said, it was kind of felt a bit disjointed at times. I did find, however, that when I went back and when I'd actually written out the review and gotten all that side of things done, and I kind of just listened to the album again later on without actually trying to analyse it or get anything out of it, I did actually enjoy it a lot more. So I don't know. This could be one of those ones that maybe my score will go up later on or something. I might reconsider it. I don't know. But I thought 7 out of 10 was a fair score for this one. There's definitely some great stuff on here. Yeah, a little all over the place. I'm still not quite sure which song Justin Chancellor from Tool appeared on either. But yeah. What have I got coming up next? I will have, next one should be Wu-Tang Clan, 36 Chambers. Enter the Wu-Tang! And I don't know what I've got coming up next week, actually. I've got loads of stuff coming up, so just keep on watching, for fuck's sake. If you're not subscribed, subscribe. If you are subscribed, share. If you want to comment, leave a comment. If you want to like, it really does help out the videos, for fuck's sake. Why don't you just help me out with that shit? So I'll see you next time.